Karaoke culture.
Up the wood and staring at the sky.
To think that I could ever live.
It still makes me cry. Oh, was the best man
Somebody new, and still in love with you.
No, everybody's got a great voice, but most of us love to sing, whether it's just in the car or the shower. But for all those shy souls that would die at the thought of exposing their singing voice outside their own toilet, there are a lot more people, karaoke crooners, just dying to get up and give it a laldy. Now, I've hosted karaoke for 10 years, aye. And in that time, I've heard the best of them and the rest of them. During the late 80s and early 90s, the karaoke boom took place in the UK, and seemingly overnight, karaoke began to appear everywhere. But what is the secret of its lasting success?
There'll always be a place for karaoke, because everyone loves singing and everyone wants to sing if they're good or bad.
I think it's a great night out for people who just want to sing and party.
As soon as that music starts, and people are really receptive to everybody that gets up, you know, I mean, very accepting of everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're good or bad, it doesn't really matter at all, you know, and I think that's probably it.
There are particular parts of Scotland where the singing machine really has made its mark. And despite having roughly the same number of pubs as Edinburgh, Glasgow does appear to be the karaoke capital, hosting 3 times as many karaoke nights a year.
There is certainly a smaller amount of karaoke going in Edinburgh than there is in Glasgow. It's very, very popular in Glasgow. I go and sing basically anywhere there's a karaoke event on, and sometimes I do go to Glasgow because there's a good bar in Glasgow that everybody knows.
Aha! So it's all down to the lasting enthusiasm emanating from the Horseshoe Lounge.
It's been running for about 17 years, about 15 years seriously. It's just built up. I think we started it with 1 or 2 nights and then we phased out the live music. It just seems to fill up. There's something about the Glasgow culture that people love to sing. It's something just about, I wouldn't say it's unique to Glasgow, but Glasgow in particular has a very good, strong singing culture.
I see a bad moon rising.
I think there's something about the west of Scotland that, you know, is tailor-made for karaoke, because on a Saturday night when people get a couple of drinks in them, everybody thinks they're Frank Sinatra. So what's the first thing they want to do? And don't say start a fight. They all want to sing.
When you're at home alone, the blues will don't you come.
Right, so we may have embraced the karaoke culture, but we didn't invent it. So where did it all start?
Japan.
Japan. Japan.
Japan.
Japan. Okay, so we all know where the karaoke craze originated then. It came from the same place that we get our wee gadgets and our raw fish wrapped in rice. Didn't it? Oh, delicious.
Karaoke, or karaoke as it's pronounced in Japanese, means literally empty orchestras. The term was first used in the mid-1970s. It seems to have begun in the entertainment districts of urban Japan, particularly in Western Japan, which is well known for producing popular culture. One way of looking at its origins is that when the technology reached a certain stage where a sing-along contraption could be put together to facilitate what was already there, karaoke emerged. Generally, karaoke is more for a laugh in the UK. I think people go out to have a good time. It's sort of collective singing in many cases. Whereas in Japan, it has more of this obligatory nature. It's slightly more formalized in some contexts. One aspect and popular explanation for karaoke or karaoke's popularity in Japan is that it serves as a way of relieving stress. This is one of the most common explanations given. But this obligatory nature actually complicates that a little bit, because for some people it can cause stress.
Ooh, come yourself, hen, if that works for you. But for us here in Scotland, ever since the late 80s, belting out your favourite karaoke number has been the best form of stress relief. Ooh. Mind you, I'm not saying that a few glasses have been shattered along the way. As long as the all-important discs aren't damaged, because they're not cheap, you know.
In the early days, in the late 1980s, they used the big traditional 12-inch Laserdisc, which was an excellent format, but it was very expensive. The discs are now 5-inch, video CD, DVD, and the likes, and the price has fallen a lot. And it's now more affordable, and it's a lot more popular because it's more affordable. People at home can get involved as well as the professional people. Karaoke is for everybody. It's for the wee kids. They can sing along to the Spice Girls or to Robbie Williams or even nursery rhymes. And then by the other end of the spectrum, all the old crooners have got their Dean Martin and their Frank Sinatra. The karaoke market these days in Britain is very vibrant. It's been growing like mad for the last 2 years especially, and I would put the reason for the growth mostly down to the quick release of the very up-to-date discs that there are. You can have a song which is released on karaoke before it's even released as a single in the pop charts, which is absolutely amazing.
But what exactly is the score with the videos that are playing in the background, eh?
Some people think it's entertaining to have a video around about the premises while someone is singing. The opinions are mixed, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Some people also say that if there's not a television around about, people can concentrate on watching the singer. The videos themselves aren't very entertaining. They tend just to be a shot of a couple acting lovey-dovey in the park, and that's a wee bit boring, maybe a wee bit sickly. They tend to be available to the manufacturers from a big pool of videos which can be used for lots of different things. So this is why sometimes you don't see the relevance to the song when the video is playing. Karaoke is all about being the star that you wanted to be when you were a wee boy or a wee girl in front of the mirror at home.
I'm a shooting star reaching through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by the fading diver. I'm gonna go, go, go. There's no stopping me.
I think the success of a programme like, say, Stars in the Rise is a direct result of karaoke. The Gary Mullen guy, you know, the guy from Glasgow who was Freddie Mercury, he's now making a living doing something that if you'd have suggested that to him 5 years ago, he'd have thought you were off your chump. But, you know, he's now making a living doing the clubs and the theatres and having the time of his life.
I think this is where quite a few of the famous singers and such cut their teeth in. Some didn't know they could sing, and after a few shots in the karaoke they're off. One of the other famous people here was Gary Mullen, who won Stars in the Rise. It's just karaoke that set him on the path to where he is today. He's obviously a full-time entertainer.
I started singing a few years ago. I was in some bands with my mates when I was about 18, 19, just doing the Glasgow gig scene and stuff like that, and then it sort of fell apart, so we started doing the day job thing. Came into the Horseshoe quite a lot, just doing the karaoke, and the whole Stars and Rise thing came along quite by accident. The wife sent an application form away and it really took off from there. It's great, it's good fun, it's a good way for people to go up and enjoy themselves. It stems from the sort of parties and the houses, you know, people doing the old head and taking it from there and really getting a chance to do it with you know, backing and in front of people, you know, in front of their friends and family, and to be a star for a few minutes on the stage.
And to help you sing your way to stardom, here's my top 5 karaoke tips. And one of the most important tips is be nice to the karaoke host, because he's the one that's in control and lets you sing. Karaoke tip number 2. Be familiar with the song that you're singing.
When do I know where to start, is that it?
Karaoke tip number 3. Try and get a song that's in the right key for you. Karaoke tip number 4. be prepared for a long instrumental. Try and keep punters entertained by throwing in a slosh or something. Tip number 5. If you're going to gaze a song, have a smiley. Don't have a bucket, please.
We're gonna ride, so there ain't no more to go. Just take it slow. Come on!
No wonder there are so many people taking home the latest releases from Blockbuster. Our new scorching summer offer means you can rent any new release on DVD, video or a game for just £3. And if that whets your appetite, you can also rent any 2 releases from our wide range for only £5, and you can keep them for 2 nights. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
Walls introduce new Cornetto Whippy. The first Cornetto with soft ice cream and a delicious chocolate stick.
I don't believe it. Big Pete's gone soft.
It's a love thing. New Cornetto Whippy.
The roots of karaoke can be traced back to one of NHK's longest running programmes, No Did You Man, the amateur singing contest that's broadcast every Sunday. The participants cover the full range, young and old, male and female, and several generations have appeared over the years. Now each participant knows how well they have done according to the number of chimes that they hear after their performance. Hooray!
It's become a little bit of an institution, something on par with something like Coronation Street in the UK. The program is interesting in that there is a panel of professional singers who advise contestants on how to improve their performance. So it's not simply the amateur contest, which is important, but there's also quite a lot of emphasis on improving and on bettering your singing performance. Participation tends to be the most important aspect. So even those who aren't particularly good singers will have a go, and either they won't be bothered by the fact that they're not brilliant singers, or they may take some time to practice.
And this need to practice has led to some pretty unusual singing schools cropping up.
The most popular form is probably catering to housewives, afternoon classes in singing, and these actually existed before karaoke or karaoke was popularized.
Well, I would get a go, as long as I could have that pink bucket. Oh, matron. And let's face it, if we Scots can be persuaded to eat our fish raw and no deep fried, then we're up for anything. Oh, I can still feel its heart beating. On UK television, the singing contest involves more than just a few lessons. It requires a complete transformation.
Tell us who you're going to be tonight.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Jim Diamond.
Jim Diamond, with a PhD in talent tonight, singing live, Eddie Cunningham is Jim Diamond!
Well, that's a wee bit blind as it is. Get through the doors, they have somebody behind it catching you. But when you're going out to the audience, walking through the doors, it's an unbelievable, you get a chill going right over you. It's an unbelievable experience, fantastic.
Saw you walking by the other day. I know that you saw me turn away, and I was lost.
I didn't have any idea I was going to win it. I was there just to actually take part and enjoy the experience, but to actually win the show was an unbelievable experience. I had a chill all over my body. As soon as I announced my name that I'd won it, it was an unbelievable experience. I had a tear in my eye as well, you know, and to go back and sing it again for a set in front of the audience, knowing that I've won it as well, it was fantastic. I got first involved in the karaoke scene in my local bar about 10, 11 years ago. Just doing one night, and there was being able to sing, there was words on the screen for the first time, and I wasn't good at memorising, so as soon as that came up, that was me, it just took off from there. For the first couple of years, every night of the week I was going to karaoke. Whenever there was a karaoke, I would travel to it, and I'd win the odd bottle of wine or bottle of vodka, whatever it is. Being a non-drinker, that was no good to me, so my friends started coming with me, and everywhere was a karaoke, we just went and get involved in it, you know. I tell you, it's a charity night. We're trying to raise some money for York Hill with sick kids in York Hill, and we think this is a really important thing, rather than just going in, singing and giving somebody a prize. This way we can get some money in, it goes to a good benefit as well. It's an entrance fee for £2. There will be good singers tonight. You know, there'll be an odd one that's not really up to standard, but we're just going to judge them on their singing ability, and that's all. We'll get 2 songs, one first half, one second half. We'll tally the result up and just give them a prize at the end, a bottle of wine.
The songs that I like to sing is basically soul, so I sing a lot of soul songs on the karaoke. The first song I sang was in Black or White, Michael Jackson, with the moonwalk and stuff. So the next week I came in, the place was chock-a-block, you couldn't move. So I got a bit cocky and I did more songs and stuff, you know what I mean? But I've been doing it ever since. I won a competition. It was a couple of months after that in the parade in Denison. I won £1,000. Probably shouldn't even have been in the top because I was only 15, you know what I mean? But
I'm going to sing Loving Each Day. Loving each day the way. I feel as if I should be discovered or something, because I know I'm the best Ronan Keating tribute there is in Britain. I've applied to Stars in Your Eyes, and I'm really confident I'm going to go in it and I'm going to win the show.
Good evening and welcome to Trader Joe's. A wee special evening in the aid of York Hill.
My loneliness is killing me. I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time. It's out of my hands. Took me for 2 years.
You know, it's no easy singing a ballad in a busy pub. Come on, give the guy a chance.
He took her down to Chinatown, and he showed her how.
And yes, Ronan, you were very good. But unfortunately tonight you were just not quite good enough.
The first place goes to Sandy Rogers.
Hey, another successful night down the pub. But without any pubs, would there be any singing in Scotland?
The pub, which is where karaoke takes place, was one of the first places where people sang in public, in places like the Free and Easies, as they were called. There was a long time in the 20th century when singing was banned in Glasgow pubs for reasons of sectarian violence, among other things. But thankfully these days are past.
Thankfully indeed, but in Japan that wouldn't cause a problem because they have invented the karaoke singing box where anyone can go and sing at any time.
The concept was somewhere along the way successfully marketed, And in a matter of just 2 or 3 years, karaoke boxes or rooms were popularized across the country.
But unfortunately they haven't reached Scotland yet, so I'll just have to go and have a song in the bog. Please release me, let me go. Oh, the acoustics are terrible in here.
I have a strong belief that we're all musical. Every human being has a biological guarantee of musicianship. This ability that we all have to respond emotionally to music and to express ourselves through music. And I think singing is one of the fundamental aspects of music and one of the main ways in which we can express ourselves through music. What's always interesting for me is that sometimes you'll be in a group of people and there'll be somebody that will be particularly shy. They won't want to get up on stage, they won't want to sing, and sometimes they'll be pushed on and some of their friends will make them actually go up and sing. And you see this huge transformation. That the people that can be the most reserved people in company, when they get on stage, all of a sudden the spotlight's on them and they're singing one song and they want to go back up. Before the end of the night they've sang half a dozen songs and they are the main attraction for the evening. I come across people every week that say to me, oh, I can't sing, I'm tone deaf. Now, I have a strong belief that tone deafness actually doesn't exist, and there's a number of researchers that have been putting forward this idea that we can all discriminate between high notes and low notes and make these differentiations, and I think that we can all learn the basics of musical communication, musical expression.
Well, if you're tone deaf like me, it doesn't make any difference. It's still great fun. You can still get up and have a laugh.
Well, I've never actually experienced karaoke, but in theory it's anathema to me because I'm a singer and I think the band's job is to accompany the singer, not the singer to accompany the band. To some extent, the culture of everybody joining in and singing suffered a bit when the new pop music of the 60s, 70s began, because it became difficult to sing the songs of that time because the guitar accompaniments were so much a part of a performance. We grew up with songs that were essentially melodic and in 4-line stanzas, and they were easy to sing unaccompanied. So I suppose karaoke is almost essential for singing the songs of the 70s and 80s. I mean, when I grew up, any family occasion, hogmanay or a wedding or birthday party, always ended up in a sing-song or some kind of performance. You sat around and everybody got a turn. I mean, there were wee songs for non-singers to sing that only lasted 2 lines. Tobacco pipes, tobacco pipes, tobacco pipes and porter. Many a you'll sing a sang, but nane'll sing one shorter. And that was your turn finished if you weren't a singer.
Japan and the UK both provide examples of a strong tradition within which karaoke is compatible and within which it can be adapted. And it seems, it's early to tell, but it seems in the UK that where it is strongest and where it has lasted the longest is in areas which particularly have these kinds of traditions.
Karaoke will never die, especially in Glasgow, because they're all nutters and they need karaoke, you know what I mean?
Well said, and just enough time left for the top 5 karaoke classics. Well, as they say in Japan and the Gallowgate, if you can't beat them, join them.
Let me go my way.